Okay, we are live. We are live. Monday night. I got to tell you guys, I understand it's more football. Doubleheader Monday night football games are really not our best friends. They're really not. I know, Ev, you've got a stream because we have to go early. Brandon is not here quite yet. We'll see what happens. But this is Unnecessary Roughness presented by Twisted Tea. Grab a Twisted Tea today. You guys know how we feel about the peach, the raspberry, the half and half, the ice pop. It's all the best. A lot of Twisted Tea will probably be – you have the raspberry tea, Bob. There you go. So we love Twisted Tea very much. We have a lot to get into tonight. So I had this idea that I ran by Ev when we were in Champaign this weekend, because everybody does a bracket going into the season. We do the college football playoff predictions, and I can speak for myself. Mine's busted already. I think most of ours is pretty busted. So I said, why not just redo it like halfway, or no, I guess 1/4 into the season, and we all decided we're going to do that, boys. How do you feel about that?
I think it's an excellent idea, Kayce. Little quarter of the season temperature check, you know?
Yes. So then also it's a way for our graphic to not look as embarrassing, maybe. Because right now, if you put up, I know my playoff bracket, I believe T-Bob and Liam both had Clemson winning the national title along with me, right?
Nope.
Oh.
I switched to Georgia, which I also retracted.
Ev's is probably like the only one that like remotely looks decent at this point.
Number one ball knower last year and this year is looking for 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I think I mean, obviously had Ohio State winning. I think I might have Clemson in the Natty, though. I'm not sure. I think I might have.
Yeah, so we're going to get into that. Obviously, Monday nights, we do the questions from the chat, the tweet, we'll do that. But first, and it happened, and Liam called it, a bunch of people called it. We talked about it on Saturday night in our great 2-hour recap. Sam Pittman officially fired from Arkansas, and Bobby Petrino back at the helm, which is just time is a flat circle. Like, here he is again. He's back. T-Bob, what do you think?
It's just the absolute best. It is reminiscent of something out of Game of Thrones, because when Bobby Petrino took this job, we all said this was going to happen. It was a joke that every single college football podcast on the planet made. Bobby Petrino was that Sam Pittman had just hired his eventual interim replacement, and here we go. And what did old Bobby P do? Wasted no time, fired 3 coaches. Already the AD's out there saying, look, we're going to conduct a national search, but Petrino's absolutely involved. Petrino's let it be known he wants to be the long-term head coach. And if you think about it, for Arkansas fans, it's maybe more appealing than we think, because like that was their best era, at least of the modern times, where my senior year when we played Petrino, I think it was 5 versus 3 or maybe like 1 versus 3 or something. Like they were really good at that time. Now, if I was an Arkansas fan, I think I'd want to go outside of that, but let's see what old Bobby P can cook up for the rest of the season.
I mean, Ev, we know that the drama was very funny from the outside looking in, but he was a very good coach for Arkansas. Like T-Bob just said, he just happened to want, a young hot blonde on the back of his motorcycle. And it was perhaps a bad idea, but he wasn't out of Arkansas because of his coaching. It was because of his personal life decisions.
Kayce, who among us?
Who among us?
Who among us hasn't had a beautiful blonde woman on the back of our motorcycle? No, I mean, listen, it's the year of the comeback. I mean, Rich Rod's at West Virginia. What was it? Scott Frost is back at UCF.
Yep.
Let's put Petrino back in Arkansas. Get the boys back together. Like T-Bob, for the good old times. You can always sell your alumni in the good old times.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Do I think it's gonna work? I don't know. But it's you can always sell that. So hey, remember that time back in 2009, McFadden was running wild. You remember that? Like let's bring that back. Like it's so easy, like a checkbook done. I mean, there's a lot of other good candidates. I mean, like a Summerall and some other guys like that. I think obviously could potentially make sense. But I mean, I'd probably rather go in a direction of that esque than Petrino again. But I mean, I guess we'll see how the season ends. I mean, Pittman had to go. There was patches of green grass bigger than I've ever seen on a football field in my life.
Yeah, it was bad.
On Saturday, it was atrocious. They were like that all year. You just can't win. You can't do that. Can't have it.
It's easy to make the joke like who among us, because it's true, but it's also just like so much time has gone by, and like the Jessica Durrell stuff again was very funny in like the SEC circles, but like all these Arkansas fans are probably sitting there like, we don't care what goes on. We just want to win. And Bobby Petrino has proven that in the past. But I've been seeing a lot of like, I don't know if it's just because Sam Pittman's just like a funny fat guy and he like loves to drink and eat, but there are people acting like this is like the saddest thing ever. They're like, oh my God, we're going to miss him in college football. Like, sure, he was kind of entertaining, but like, I don't feel like losing Sam Pittman's that big of a deal.
Well, it is kind of funny, Kayce, because it shows once again the kind of vacuum that we have in a post-Spurrier age, where if you show even a modicum of personality, we will latch onto it and farm it for all it's worth. I mean, literally all Sam Pittman said was, I like cold beer. And I thought it was fucking awesome. I was like, I fucking love this guy. He's going to go drink a cold beer. I want a cold beer with Coach after the game. Like, he didn't say that was it. That was it. He seemed to be very nice. I don't know. I'm sure you had some run-ins with him somewhere along the line, but he seemed to be very nice. But, like, yeah, there's just not a lot of personality in this sport all the time.
Yeah, no, he's fine. Liam, what did you – I mean, you called this on Saturday. Like I said, a lot of people did, but you said, you know, you expected this to happen. What do you think that Arkansas does moving forward?
I feel really cool being 4 for 4 on these firings happening in the next 48 hours or whatever. I feel nice and nifty about that. I'll say this. It is very funny how the times have changed, as you alluded to, Kayce. If we think to it was a decade and a half ago since Bobby Petrino was rolling on a motorcycle, and you look around the scene right now, and there's an old senile man coaching at North Carolina named Bill Belichick with a significantly younger woman attached to his hip at all times. If that was happening to Bobby a decade and a half ago, that wouldn't have flown. So to this, I say, if Bobby got on a motorcycle with, say, Sidney Sweeney and rolled into Fayetteville for their next game, he's being applauded. He's being paraded. He's being seen as one of the all-time greats for a simple stunt as that. The times have changed. Bobby Petrino's back running things. T-Bob's never is so articulate with his words, has never said anything ever better than this is a Game of Thrones situation. Bobby Petrino is a dirty Lannister, just laying the seeds for months and months and months, and a year goes by and another year, and finally stuff starts to take action. It's a slow burn, but he gets his wish. He gets this desire, and now he's king of the castle. And he honestly, gut feeling is, when I saw him when they announced this and said he's legitimately in there for the head coaching position permanently, I'm almost thinking, well, golly, how's he not just going to take reign of this? How's he not going to take grasp of this? They're going to be they're so hungry for something. I feel like he could sell them on every promise, like, even though he won't be able to deliver. I don't know.
This is what they got to do. Whoever wants the job, you got to sell Walmart. You got to sell the Waltons. You got to sell yourself to Jones, and you got to sell yourself to Tyson Chicken. If you can accomplish that, you will get the job. Money rules this sport. Billionaires rule this sport. You have to pitch yourself to those guys and convince them that you're the right man.
Well, and that's where it goes back to Bobby Petrino just needs to stay away from his staffers. That was the whole issue, right? It was like she was a staffer, is a no, whatever. Just like stay away from them. I will say, and this is Texags lore, but my first ever because, Bobby Petrino was at A&M for a little bit, which was a whole thing. My first ever appearance on camera for Texags, I played Jessica Durrell on the back of a motorcycle, and they had to wipe it from the internet when he got hired at A&M. So, that's the type of lore this man is. As soon as they announced it, the neck brace, everything, but it's all indicative of how the drama off the field caused this issue for him. If he doesn't take this job, because he's not a good enough coach, I would be shocked. But again, it's the SEC, it's college football. We're going to make fun of everything. And the photos are going to last forever.
Yeah, him scraped up, Sugar Bowl hat on, neck brace. It's a top 10 college football meme photo probably ever. I mean, Liam, you can speak that better than me.
It might be one. I was literally just thinking it might be 1-1.
And there's so many angles of it too, just different. I mean, it's just such a ridiculous visual. But he's back. And I mean, Arkansas fans have to be excited about that. So
I used to think McElwain humping the shark was up there, but then Caleb did the whole expose where it's actually not Jim McElwain, right?
No, it is. I don't do that. Don't do that.
Is that a bit? Did I get bitted?
No, but it's him.
Okay, yeah, you're just like saying you choose to believe it for the memes. Yeah, I agree.
No, 1-1's Auburn. Brian Harsin.
Which Brian Harsin?
Tripping? The story they made up about the girl?
No, but we're talking about me.
Picture.
That's a meme, and that picture is.
It's not 1-1 though, Liam.
I don't think that comes close to
That's
Petrino.
crazy. Petrino's is all time.
Okay, sorry, 1-2. My brain doesn't work right now. It's not fully
if you just say college football photo, my brain just goes to Petrino.
Yeah, valid. You guys are right.
It's just so perfect because it is. It's the hot young blonde, the whole thing. It's just perfect.
The story, it's incredible. Incredible.
But he's back. He's back. So if you want to go bet on Arkansas, you should do it on DraftKings every Saturday with DraftKings. If you download the Sportsbook app and use code RUFF, that's code RUFF, it turns $5 into $200 in bonus bets instantly if your bet wins. So we are obviously in partnership with DraftKings. DraftKings is also the NFL betting partner. So you want to go do that with Monday Night Football. You're new, you're listening to this. Go use promo code RUFF. Getting $5 turns into $200 in bonus bets instantly if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Okay, so updated playoff brackets. I am going to let Big Ev go first, unless he doesn't want to. But I do feel like of the four of us that are here, and Brandon will give his eventually. You probably, because you have Ohio State winning, which is still very much alive. So I'm going to defer to you. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I actually made two. Because I want to ask how we were doing this in terms of, are we doing this on like the merit through like this part of the season, or what I believe will be the 12-team playoff at the end of the season? Because I think
I believe
very different answers.
But I'd be down to hear both.
I kind of want to do both because it is the way that I did it was if it was going to be set tomorrow, who I would have in the playoff.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I got that. That was the first one I did, so I have that one.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. But if you want to do both, like that, I mean, it's up for interpretation. I just thought, like, if it starts October 1st, this is what it would be. Yeah,
because obviously at this stage in the season, like, one loss almost kills you if you're doing a quarter season. So the one I had of just right now, the way things stand on September, 29th? It's September 29th. Ohio State 1, I think it's obvious. Oregon 2, also I think pretty obvious. In Miami 3, another one I think kind of just based on what they've done at this point in the season, beating up good teams, the win over Notre Dame, they beat up Florida, kicked the shit out of USF, good stuff out of Miami. In Kayce, I got A&M 4. I think what they've done is worthy of that. I think that, I mean, the Notre Dame win, Auburn, even regardless of Auburn's offense, still a respectable win. Ole Miss 5, I think they're kind of interchangeable. I think Ole Miss or A&M could have easily went 4 or 5, didn't really care. Oklahoma 6. You can even argue Oklahoma on the wins they have could be above. That's fine, but I got Oklahoma 6. I got Indiana 7. I think just the way they beat the shit out of Illinois, and then Illinois beating USC cannot be ignored. So they're 7 right now. Texas Tech 8. Impressive, incredibly impressive Utah win. I mean, to go into Salt Lake and beat the brakes off them, I think they deserve that spot. I got Florida State 9. I know they lost to Virginia. I understand that. But still beating the brakes off Alabama, they have to be in here, and 2, they cannot be below Alabama because they beat Alabama. The games on the field have to matter. So even though I think Alabama is probably a better team right now, they played the game a month ago and they beat the shit out of them. So Florida State 9, I got Bama 10, and I got Georgia 11. And that's the way it is. And then honestly for 12, I just put winner of the American. Are we taking what G5 conference they are? They have like 3-4. They have 3 teams that are legitimately all like make a run. I mean, who knows? I don't think Navy's gonna make, but even they look good. USF, Memphis, Tulane. I think it's 5. Very good. Yeah, even 5. Yeah. I mean, there are North Texas. Like, there's a very, very good chance that I think whoever comes out of that, the only problem is if they all cannibalize each other. Mm-hmm. But if one of them comes out of that strong, they're going to be the team, and I think they will deserve it.
Did you bracket it out, or do you just have your?
Well, I ranked it 1 through 12, so I did it just that'd be the order. So however, like that, like the bye, like the top, I just like Ohio State, Oregon, Miami, A&M, whatever, getting a bye.
So who's in your Final Four?
Okay, I see. Ohio State, Oregon, I'll go. See, this is where it gets. I'll go Bama. I guess it's tricky because I didn't put it exactly in that like who's going to play who and beat who and not. And I'll go Miami. I really believe in Miami. I think Miami's legit. I think their offensive defensive line will take them far, regardless of what you think about Cristobal or whatever. Their athletes are incredible. They're dominant in the line of scrimmage. That's a team I take into battle against almost anybody. So yeah.
And I think it's probably pretty safe to assume that you're keeping Ohio State as your national champion.
Yeah, I've seen nothing that would deter me from that. If anything, I'm more confident than I was a month ago.
Okay. All right, T-Bob, your turn.
All right, so I'll do mine a bit differently then, because then we can just keep everything nice and fresh and different. Because I'm trying to think about who's going to be there by the season's end, and really I think this almost becomes an exercise in who the fuck wins the SEC. Like, how's this going to go? Because I'm going to throw 4 Big Ten teams in there. You probably already know who they are: Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, Penn State. I'm going to throw Texas Tech in there. They were the preseason favorite. They've done nothing to dissuade us. Talent looks great. I'm going to put Notre Dame in there. I think they go 10-2, and I think 10-2 is going to get them in because they're going to kick everybody's ass. I'm going to put Miami in there. I think 1 ACC team makes it, not 2, because I think there's so many good candidates out of the Big in the SEC. And then I'll put Tulane from the group of 5. I want to shout out Tulane for this. I was thinking about this today. They did the opposite of what the big boys do for scheduling. They came out the gate with hard game after hard game after hard game. And you could argue that maybe in the entire country, from a talent disparity level or challenging themselves level, that there is not a more battle-tested team in the nation right now than the Tulane Green Wave. And how they respond to getting their ass kicked by Ole Miss, they went and kicked Tulsa's ass. So I love that. Also, it'd be very funny if Tulane made the 12-team playoff before LSU did. Okay, so that is 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 teams. Or is that 8? It's 8 teams. Bad at math. Sorry, guys. So we got 4 spots. What the fuck's going to happen in the SEC? I mean, Alabama, Tennessee, UGA, Mizzou, Texas, Ole Miss. Like, who are going to be the 4 that make it out of that? I don't know that I have any clue. Like, it would require an entire show of diving into schedules to really try and map this thing out. I guess we got to put Bama in there right now. Right? Is there any disagreement there for one of the 4 slots?
No.
Okay. Liam, would you like to nominate a second SEC team to be one of the 4?
Mizzou.
See, and I was on Mizzou, and then we started this show, and I realized I don't even have Texas A&M or Ole Miss on this list. I didn't even say Texas A&M now. That's crazy.
I thought you did that on purpose.
No. That was a brain fart. It just goes to show, like, I just have no Oklahoma. What the fuck about Oklahoma? I didn't think about that. Like, how the fuck are 4 teams going to make it out of here when everybody? This is like NFL light, in that there just feels like so many, like we talked about, 3-point differentials in this league right now.
Time to go 24 teams.
Shut the fuck up, Liam. Stop it. Stop it.
Liam would have a heart attack on site if that happens.
No,
like, I would
I don't
truly
think I
be
could get
worried
a
for
heart
his
attack.
health if that happened.
Okay, we'll take Oklahoma out because their schedule's too fucked.
And John Mateer is out for at least 3 weeks.
I think we put Tennessee in because their schedule's not fucked, maybe? Or are they not good enough?
No, I don't, because that's where, like, I think there's a good chance Tennessee makes the playoff, but I think right now with the way it worked, I couldn't put them in. Like Mizzou, like Oklahoma, I think is going to be out. And
Yeah.
I think Penn State will be in. That's why I just did it the way I did it, but it's not what I like.
Oh, no, for sure. And I just want to do this. I just want to do this not as any predictive measure that I'm going to hang my hat on. I just want to have the conversation about who the fuck do we really trust in the SEC right now? Because I think it's almost an impossible conversation to have. So we don't have to belabor the point. I guess if I had to choose, I might go Alabama, Tennessee, Mizzou. But then what? It's UGA, Texas A&M, Texas, Ole Miss all competing for the final spot? Fuck.
It's a clusterfuck in the SEC right now. But that's why I think it was easier, because I mean, predicting, like, going through the schedules and predicting that the way it plays out is one thing. But I do feel like, I mean, when I get to my bracket, like, I was very confident. It was almost, what I did is I went through each conference and did the conference national or the conference title game. It was like, okay, who do I think is going to be in the title game as of right now? And when you look at the Big Ten, I think it's an easier answer. But I still think that right now there's still the cream of the crop in the SEC. There's a lot of questions, but at least the way teams have played.
I mean, if Texas avoids, God, that Texas A&M game, if it can hold serve, it looks so sexy right now. 6 versus 9 as it stands today. Oof.
There also could be 5.
It could be
Because
5.
I think for a Florida State, if Miami goes and waxes Florida State at Tallahassee, I think that becomes a 1-team league, like ACC is a 1-team league, and I think the Big 12 very well might be a 1-team league. And then you're left with 9 spot at G5, left at 9 spots for 2 conferences.
He also has Notre Dame too. So
that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
so
that's
Notre Dame obviously the wrench in that situation.
You could take Notre Dame out though because they could drop in like maybe their resume if there's a bunch of 10-win teams in the SEC. I don't know.
I mean, the problem is if they do go 10-2, their 2 losses are to Miami and A&M. And if it holds serve the way it is right now, both of those teams would be in the college football playoff.
You know what, Kayce?
The only thing is they wouldn't have. They need USC to be good really bad.
Yeah, they do.
Because if USC is not a top, they wouldn't have a single ranked win if they're not ranked.
Kayce, I think Texas A&M is going to make the playoff.
Love that.
Mm-hmm. I'm in no way trying to jinx it at all. I mean, they got to survive at LSU, at Mizzou, at Texas. Never mind, they're not making it. All right, actually, scratch that from the record. See, that's what I said. You got to look at schedules.
So mean.
I did not mean to do that.
Listen,
I did not mean to do that. I
First of
hit
all,
the expand button on the schedule, and then I saw the rest of it, and I was like, okay, never mind.
I know how he feels about A&M, and he's been doing. When I said that A&M was going to make the playoff going into, I guess it was it after we went regardless, and he like scoffed at that. This man's just lashing out because his offense looks like shit. I'm not even going to like deal with that right now. Whatever. Like you're just hurt and you're hurting people.
That's true. All right, I don't fucking know, guys. Let's just say for today then, because I feel like I'm dragging here, we'll go Alabama, Georgia. I'm going to say Ole Miss somehow gets it done. And then Mizzou. I'll stick with Mizzou for now. Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Mizzou. There you go. I'll text you later, Luby.
What's your Final Four? Do you have that?
Nope.
Okay, who's going to win the national title then?
Probably Ohio State.
Okay. The whole point of this was to like change your answer because it was Clemson before. You do realize that?
No, I thought this was more of like a fun, just like a Montessori school like workshop. Let's just kind of throw some things at the wall. But yeah, okay, I'll change my answer. Ohio State clearly looks like the only team that is close to like being the team. Them in Oregon. Or the
you could keep Clemson if you'd like. You have that option.
No.
That option. Okay, Liam. Liam.
I would like to preface this by saying I put 12 teams in. I did not bracket it. I have a national champion. I don't have the brain power to predict the Final Four. This isn't what it is today. This is what I predict will happen. Also, note, this is really bad and terrible, and I'm a doofus. From the Big Ten, Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana. From the SEC, Ole Miss, Alabama, Georgia, Mizzou, Tennessee. Big F set at 5. From the ACC, Miami. From the Big 12, Texas Tech and Utah. And from the Group of 5, James Madison, because I do believe that the American, who has 5 very, very good teams, they are going to cannibalize each other. I think it's apparent that we are not talking and taking the Big 12 seriously enough to say, hey, great conference, really good teams at the top. Yeah, it's not as deep as everyone thought it would be in the summer. They have really good teams at the top. They should probably be getting 2 teams in. I'm leaving Penn State out. I think that there's actually a decent chance. I talked to Connor for probably 30 minutes this morning. I do think that there's actually a decent chance Penn State wins 9 games. I think they could slip up at Iowa because I don't think their offense is all that far off from being what people would make fun of Iowa for. It's asinine, man. And then I think that they could lose to Indiana as well. I just don't, and Ohio State. Like I don't see it with that team. Notre Dame, I am taking the probability of thought that just along the way of having to win 10 straight games, they're going to slip up somewhere, whether it be USC or at Boston College for some reason. College football players make college football mistakes, and that's the nature of the game, right? So I'm taking more of the probability route there where I just think they'll slip up. 5 SEC teams, like T-Bob said, extremely difficult to figure out which SEC teams make it. I thought Mizzou was going to make it before the season. I just think their schedule's so favorable. I love Pabula, Hardy, Roberts, Coleman. They've got so many good pieces everywhere. I think Drinkwitz should be the next head coach at Penn State. I think he's a great fit. I think that Tennessee is just I do think Tennessee is like a top 7 team. I think it's going to be very difficult for them to make their way into the playoff. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Ole Miss, A&M was a toss-up for me. I don't have Texas anywhere close to it. Oklahoma, sorry. Dr. Shin's going to win the Heisman, but squeeze them out. It's tough, man. Like, there were 14, 15, 16 teams I was trying to make room for. The SEC is an impossible grind to blend down. I'm just some ginger from Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. You all have your own brains from your own cities and backgrounds. Mm-hmm. You could come to your own opinion and make them. These are mine. They're different. I'm sorry. The SEC is difficult.
Just some ginger from Las Vegas is just so demeaning to yourself, Liam.
Whoa,
you're the number one ball knower. What do you mean?
I thought that was a compliment.
You're the number one ginger from Carrot Top.
Oh,
you're the number 2 ginger.
I get called Carrot Top was a bit tough.
It's a tough scene. Okay, who's winning the national title, Liam?
Oh yeah, Ohio State. I think I tweeted out. I swerved off. No, that's a poor pun there. I swerved off Georgia. I went in the direction of Ohio State after like a week. It wasn't like what I saw against Texas, and it's nothing that I didn't see from Georgia. It was just kind of, if Evan and I went to bat so hard for Ohio State in the summer, and it was kind of just, shooing off the haters and doubters, right? Like, this defense is better. Their offense is still really, really good. It's just style of play and tempo and shortening games. Lukey and I were talking about on Saturday. Ryan Day's gone rogue. He's gone down the route of Tony Bennett, where if you looked on Bartorvik, or the college football equivalent of that, Kempom, Bartorvik, whatever, you would see Ohio State all the way down at the bottom in tempo, like a Virginia team, a Virginia basketball team. True. That's what Ohio State's doing. They're milking the clock on games. They could run up the score. They could score a bunch. They could be a high-flying offense. They're opting into not doing that. I think when the playoff comes and push comes to shove, they will air it out a bit too, but that defense, man. Dave yelled at me today for saying that Patricia and the NFL mind. Again, I don't care if Matt Patricia was selling meth on the side of the street in the summer. What he's doing to confuse college quarterbacks, I get it. These aren't NFL quarterbacks. These are college kids who are still taking calculus and Shakespeare 101 during the week. Some of them, right? Yes, are they? I don't know. They definitely weren't at UNC. But it is so hard for these kids to dissect what is happening before the snap when they're playing Ohio State's defense. And when you look at what Arvell Reese and the rest of Ohio State's unit was able to do to stop DeMond Williams from being able to get free and use his legs, that's the best rushing quarterback in the sport. And they held him in so much check. They're very impressive. Caleb Downs has free reign to do whatever he wants. Top 2 player in the sport, and they have the other best player in the sport. So I just – maybe I was wrong when I said unbeatable, and I could admit that like less than 48 hours later. That's just sleepy Liam talking. But I do think this team is very, very, very difficult to beat. I think they're better than last year, and last year they walked to the title.
I did appreciate it, Liam, that you gave me a little bit of credit when you talked about it on Wake Up Barstool today. You were very humble when you said that you didn't mean unbeatable and that you admitted you were wrong in the moment. That takes a big man.
Unbeatable is a big word. He meant beat. I think he meant like we can beat ourselves. Obviously,
yeah.
They also saying like unbeatable. We were all exhausted. Okay,
almost Saturday. No one's unbeatable.
It's like 2 a.m. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so I did bracket mine out, but I'm not gonna make everybody sit through it since nobody else is gonna sit through it. But so when I looked at this, like, and I think that the Big Ten right now at the top is the best conference. And when you look at what's going on in the SEC, like there's a ton of teams that are there, but I think that the Big Ten is the big boy this year, obviously. And so I have 2 teams in my top 4. I know that this is maybe I'm like Dan Lanning. I don't know. I'm back on Oregon again, Ev, and they could prove me wrong again. But I have Oregon at number 1, Miami at number 2, A&M at number 3, Ohio State at number 4. I know. So I have.
You're an Ohio State hater. It's fine. It's fine.
I have. Maybe.
Always have been. I keep receipts. Always have been.
I will say this, and this is where like real life blends into takes, blends into opinions. But being an Ohio State hater has been far easier until this year. Now that I'm friends with Urban Meyer, like that is tough. Like when we're sitting at dinner, like, and I know that's crazy, and like it's not even me being like, oh, like when we're sitting at dinner and we're like chopping it up and like having some drinks and dinner, and I sit there and I'm like, holy shit, I've said some things about you. Like I just like it's harder, Ev. It is harder, and I will give you that.
That probably Herb probably likes that a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
His wife is inviting me, to come hang out on their boat, and I'm like, Jesus, like Buckeye Kayce. I don't know. Okay, so anyways, so 1 Oregon, 2 Miami, 3 A&M.
Get your ass on that boat with a hidden camera. I need that shit like I need oxygen to breathe.
I would never ever do that.
That's another all-time college football meme. Urban Meyer doing the interview from the boat with the dude walking in the back and like seemingly hitting a bong. And
you college coaches have a nice time, okay? Okay, so then
Urban's the fucking man. Remember who was saying that for a decade and not shitting on him.
No, I know. This is where
as a boat, everything.
Yeah, why are they inviting Ev to the boat? It's fucked up. It's great.
Well, I don't go to the other side of the table and schmooze them up for the dinner. I stay in my seat.
Yeah, I get that.
We were all
Kayce does her weekly schmoozing.
Smart.
I'm the only female there's 16 dudes. Like I feel like beside the point, okay? Listen, the man he ordered some dinner. He didn't like his dinner. He wanted to eat off my plate, my chicken tenders. What do you want from me, Ev? Okay. Anyways.
He wants some chicken tenders, huh? Oh yeah.
No, everyone loves chicken tenders. Get a little barbecue sauce, a little buffalo sauce. Anyways,
honey
number
mustard's
5,
the ideal chicken tender sauce, but whatever.
Number 5, Ole Miss. Number 6, Texas Tech. I do think Texas Tech is going to win the Big 12. They're my only Big 12 team. As much as I hate to say it, and I like that Liam kept him out, I think that Penn State will make the playoff just because of how strong the Big 10 is, and I think that they're probably going to be fine. I love that the Drew Aller and James Franklin takes are hitting the way that they are right now, but I have them there. I agree with you, Ev. I have Florida State in there. I have them at number 8. I do think unless they just get murdered by Miami. Number 9, Alabama. Number 10, Oklahoma. Number 11, Indiana. And number 12, Memphis. I do think Memphis is the favorite right now. I have Oregon winning the national title. We don't have to go through my whole bracket out, but I do have them winning the national title.
Who do they beat? I want to know who they beat.
I have them beating Miami, actually.
Oh wow,
because the way that it's scripted out with 1-4, they would play Oregon and Ohio State would play again in the Final Four, and so I have that. I don't know. I buy into this every year. I love the way that this Stan Lanning team looks, and maybe I am just a hater. I don't know, but it's just far better than having Clemson at my national title. So I'll take the upgrade here. Ev, anything to say to me?
No, I mean, you're just going to look wrong in a little bit, but it's okay. I mean, listen, I said I like Miami. Oregon's the next best team. It's the 2 best teams in the country are from the Big Ten. It's Ohio State and Oregon. I legitimately think there's there's a small but like not tiny small gap after those 2. I think Oregon's very, very good.
Well, and that's why I
do. For real, I think Miami. I think there might not be a SEC team in the top 3 in the country. I really believe.
What if Texas A&M really does win the SEC?
They might.
That would be
like, this is where, I mean, it's so easy to make fun of me, and that's fine. I take it. I've lived my whole life that way. But it's not like just me saying this. It's not just me. Like this team again. The score against Auburn didn't look great, but when you look at the box score and when you look at the schedule, I don't know. Maybe again, I'm drinking the maroon Kool-Aid. R.I.P. The retired Miss Rev. That's a very sad thing that happened. But the SEC is.
Did she get a military funeral?
they get a big time funeral, and then they all get buried outside of Kyle Field, and like they have like a little Miss Rev.
Yeah, that's not weird.
I don't like saying the word graveyard, but then they have a scoreboard outside of Kyle Field that overlooks where all the dogs are buried, so that the dogs' souls can see the score of the current game.
Yeah, it's all normal stuff.
Definitely
I don't know why you haven't won a championship in forever when you're actively building a pet cemetery.
Are we talking?
You're actively building a pet cemetery outside. No, I'm sure there's nothing wrong with that.
We're disrespecting dead dogs now.
No, I will say this. I thought it was.
It's you guys for being weird about it. It's nothing to do with the dogs.
She is the highest ranking cadet in the Corps. Okay.
Yeah, more normal stuff. Yeah, for sure. I thought it was a better story when I thought it was the current Reveille. And so I thought it was going to become this like huge bonding moment. Retired Reveille.
No, okay. And whether, haha, A&M's weird. Like it is like, and I know that my algorithm is very, very heavy A&M for obvious reasons.
Is everybody upset?
But no. It's like, but even like the players that are like posting the photos of like, oh, we love Miss Rev on the sidelines. Like she is like, she goes to class. Like she's not just like a mascot they just like keep away and like tote out at games. Like I feel like Uga is never around the students. Like I don't know. I feel like Smokey probably chops it up with the co-eds. Like Miss Rev is always around students.
That is different. That is definitely different.
I mean, it is. If you go to restaurants in College Station, like Miss Rev has tables because she goes to them. Beside the point. We don't need to get into the whole dead dog. It's very sad. All right. I don't like seeing dogs die.
No.
But the SEC is very, very interesting. The SEC this weekend has a lot. I mean, Brandon, I know, is not here at the moment, but Mississippi State is not a terrible. I mean, I know they lost to Tennessee, but Mississippi State's, they're not going to make the playoff, but they're in the mix to muck some things up too. The SEC is a mess.
Ooh, you mom and dad guys. The mom and dad game's coming this weekend. It's going to be intense.
And it's the haunting week ever. It's the witching hour. Like there's something that happens amongst me and Brandon's relationship, whether it's forced or not. Every year, the witching week comes. It also, the college football show, Ev, it is very odd that it's A&M, Mississippi State, and Wisconsin's awful, but Michigan, Wisconsin. So the college football show this weekend studio is going to be electric. Let's go to, we have a new segment presented by Venmo. As we know, Venmo is a sponsor of the Big Ten and the Big 12. So kick off college sports season with a special edition Venmo debit card and unlock 40% off of a Big Ten Plus subscription, a free year of Perplexity Pro, and cash back from some of your favorite brands. Add your card to your mobile wallet as soon as you sign up. Pay online and in-store right from your phone. The Venmo debit card works in hand with the Venmo app that you already know and love. So if people pay you back on Venmo, it just goes to a card. So it's pretty easy to use and pretty great. Score more with the Venmo debit card and access fan rewards from the Big Ten Plus and Perplexity Pro. Sign up at venmo.com/collegecard today. No monthly fee and no minimum balance. Max cashback varies. Terms apply. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. Big Ev, you've always got the big debit cards in the crowd. The college football shows, they're great. So they want to talk about the Big 10 and Big 12 weekend or teams of the weekend. So we've had a couple days to digest. We did this as a group. Big Ev, I'll let you start. Who is our Big 12 team of the weekend?
It's my Cincinnati Bearcats.
Yep.
It's Brennan Sorsby. The boys go on the road. No Dante Corleone. Their big presence on the inside. They go to Kansas as underdogs, get a win. Huge. And I don't know if you guys listen, their only loss is at a conference, Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Neutral game. That was really more of a home game for Nebraska. And I don't know if you guys have looked at their line this week. They're at home against Iowa State. They are favored in the football game.
Ooh.
Put a pin in that.
Ooh.
Bearcats. Cincinnati.
Shout out Dana Beers. Yeah, look, a massive – I love seeing it Saturday. I mean, I guess I was going to say on a big stage, but I guess this game kind of got buried. It was one of the most fun games the entire day.
Incredible.
Back and forth affair, came down last minute. Sorsby, because like I hate that the one time that most countries saw Sorsby was on that Thursday night against Nebraska, because that is not indicative of the player who I think he is. And now you look, I mean, in the Big 12, Texas Tech, probably our favorite. And then it's got to be Arizona State, Iowa State, and Cincinnati.
Yeah, TCU, I think, is still in the mix.
TCU still there, yeah.
But sure, no, I agree. I would agree.
Just throwing Utah away?
You're right. You're right.
They're still like in there. I'd put them in the TCU category of like in the mix still.
Yes.
Definitely in the mix.
Liam, I'm shocked you've not completely thrown them away. I know that you like the team, but
the thing to not do in this sport is look at what happened on one Saturday and then take it for what it's worth the entire season. You could look back to Alabama week 1 against Florida State and then look at Alabama against Georgia and know that those are two completely different football teams. I'm giving Utah the benefit of the doubt because I like their makeup and build. I know that we are doing a segment, but I thought I had last night just looking ahead at games and everything and lines. This week's going to be tread carefully this week because this week could get very messy for a lot of teams with a lot of nice little numbers next to their name.
Yeah, very dicey. This is one of those weekends where there's a lot of dicey games. And then T-Bob, our Big Ten team of the week is who?
Yeah, we're gonna go Illinois here. Oregon's just a little too self-evident, right? Like Oregon, I mean, obviously, massive win on the road at Penn State, surviving the whiteout, really badass stuff. Love Dan Lanning after the game. But as impressive on a smaller scale is Illinois getting their dicks kicked in at Indiana and showing the resolve of a program that is truly moving in a consistently good direction to then go and battle USC tooth and nail, bounce back. You highlighted Saturday, Kayce, was spot on. The Illinois offensive line specifically could not have bounced back in a better way. They dominated that game, and I was impressed with the fight from USC, like I said, but nobody's better in a late game situation than Luke Altmaier. He's been doing it now for 2 years. He did it again Saturday. We love Brett Bielema. He is a top-tier modern-day coach. Shout out to Illinois, our Venmo Big Ten team of the weekend.
And Ev, we were clearly there, and like we said from the very beginning, even before the game, just the vibe in Champaign. Like there's a lot of fans, a lot of teams, a lot of places that would not show up the way that they did after the way they looked against Indiana. And you heard Dave talk about not doing a pizza review with Bielema because Bielema was like, I have to just grind, I have to keep my face in the film. Like everything about that team you would understand if they laid down and lost to USC when USC made the comeback. But everything about this Illinois team, coaching staff, program, fan base, like they are able to rebound the way that they were, and it's impressive.
No, and they rebounded even not obviously, needless to be said, they rebounded off the ass kicking they got the week before, but they rebounded in the game multiple times. I talked about on the last show the fumble that I thought they got screwed on. Then they fumble going into the end zone. The tight end literally had his hands on the ball. It out, gets recovered. They were winning the entire game. USC comes back down. They go for 2. Then they take the 1-point lead on the next touchdown. They still come back, drive down, win the game. Just resilience on every level. Like you said, the fan base, they showed up regardless. They didn't quit on the team. Bielema didn't quit. The players didn't quit. It was a big time response, but as good of a response you could possibly imagine in the spot they were in.
So shout out to Venmo. Oh, go ahead, Liam.
I was just going to say, and not to look ahead because they got to get through Purdue, but massive Ohio State, Illinois, big noon game.
At Champaign, in Champaign.
It's big time.
And it's incredible. Like Champaign has not had a pregame show ever, is what Bielema told me. And then now, back-to-back, or not back-to-back weeks, but every other week, they're going to have the show there again. I just love Brett Bielema. Ev, where'd you put his letter? Did you keep it?
It's in my backpack right now. I have it literally on me.
Yeah, mine is in this little area of my room where I keep special things. And I was like, I'm going to add this handwritten Bielema letter there. He's the best. He's the absolute best.
Awesome. Handwritten was incredible. He's definitely keeping it for sure.
Yeah. So shout out Venmo.
Did he handwrite Brandon the letter?
Liam, he not only he did handwritten letters for everybody. He also had his people, Brandon and I had a specific bag of merch. Spider and Big Eb had a specific bag of merch with our names on it, but they were all the handwritten letters were very personal. It was personalized to our lives. He mentioned to me, he was as a girl dad, I love watching a woman do what you do, that kind of thing. So it was this man he's elite.
He knows how to run a program. Truly a program top to bottom. He broke it down on Wub. It was absolutely fantastic. Shout him.
Yeah, he's elite.
So
let's go.
Giants outside linebacker coach. He talked Giants. Really? He mentioned Giants in my post. I was touched by that.
Wow.
He remembers everything. He remembers everything. And that to me is like, that's such an important characteristic of a person, is to remember little details about people, that especially when they tell you. And he's one of those guys. And I think that's why the recruiting level, like that's why Luke Altmaier came back. Like he really does.
The retention, even more so than the recruiting. That's why the retention is so strong at Illinois right now.
Yes. Okay, let's get to some of your questions. I know, again, that Monday Night Football doubleheader is hard with timing, but we're still going to get to some of your questions. So I'll go to Twitter. T-Bob, if you want to look at the chat. I don't know how the chat has been.
I've got one from the chat for Big Ev here from earlier that I thought was interesting.
Go for
that
it.
A lot of people may be interested in. Sam Ryan says, Big Ev, give us early lines for Saturday that we might want to jump on before they shift. Have you played anything yet?
So the one that I like, it shifted and then shifted back, was Florida State, Miami. Like the Florida State line, Florida State right now is +4.5 at home. After the Florida game on Friday, it jumped up to 6. It went back to 4.5. That tells me the wise guys, the heavy hitters, got 6 on Florida State. They couldn't have been faster to jump on it. To me, this is a spot. I think I'm going to be on Florida State. I just think it's like you've seen Florida State when they bring that intensity, that effort at home, what they can do, a la Alabama. I think you'll get a big time effort from them again. I'm not saying Miami can't go win the game, because I think they're incredibly talented, absolutely are capable of it. But I think if you're going to beat them, like you're going to beat the best version of Florida State on Saturday. So that was one for sure that jumped out at me. Let me just take a quick look at some of the early lines. Cincinnati was one I mentioned. Like them being favored, that like is the all-time like screamer. An unranked team's favorite over number 14 at home.
Yeah,
give me Cincy. Some of the other ones. Let me take a quick. I mean, Death Taxes and Diego Pavia with points. Thank you very much.
He's getting 10.5. Did I see that right?
Give me that. Thank you. Alabama's going to be motivated, but guess what? It doesn't matter. So is Vandy. Vandy's going to be motivated. Also another one, and I'm not a Louisville guy, so people will take this to heart. They're going to smash Virginia. I'm sorry. That's the ultimate come down college football. I love Virginia. Thank you for the money on Friday night. God bless you. I think you're going to go to Louisville and get smushed here. I apologize, but I just think it's the truth. Yeah, those are the ones I'd say I looked at early.
Hell yeah. I'm in.
Okay, Bloodman, I have a question. Oh, wait, actually, there's one right here. T-Bob, would Penn State have won with Bo Pibrula?
No, look, I don't think we can blame Drew Aller. I think that Drew Aller is the latest in a long line of the exact same thing that we've seen out of Penn State forever. I believe that James Franklin does a lot of incredible things. I believe maybe the worst thing that he does is he does not know how to fully empower or fully trust his quarterbacks. And he is the common denominator through all the offensive coordinators, all the different quarterbacks that all go on to play in the NFL. A lot of them do still on rosters today that just cannot ever be like as threatening as they should be. So if Bo Pibrula was in there, it would be the exact same thing that you saw with Drew Aller, in my opinion. Oh, wait, Kayce, did you mute yourself? Is that just me?
I did mute myself.
Okay.
My bad. I'm going to start with Liam on this question. It's from Caleb, and I'm not even going to try to say his last name, but I see him comment on here a lot, so thank you, Caleb. But as Liam Blutman is the number one AP poll, preseason poll hater, his question is, what's a team currently flying under the radar due to losing early or the lack of preseason hype that we could look up in a few weeks and see them right back in the middle of the conversation?
I mean, but they didn't lose. Ev, go.
I know. I think there's one that you kind of alluded to it earlier. That's why I wanted to.
They were. Yeah.
I think Tennessee would make a lot of sense. They weren't like crazy hype coming into the year. A lot of Joe Aguilar questions. They lose to Georgia. They should have won. I think they would make sense for someone that I think you said top 7 team. I tend to agree. I think they're definitely in the upper echelon of the SEC. And I think they're, in my opinion, Tennessee is without a doubt a top 12 team in college football. I believe that.
So to give like a true, someone said in the chat and they're right, and this aligns with what I believe and believed in the summer, and they did lose twice. It's Duke, who got smushed by Illinois because of the turnovers, and then against Tulane, Tulane revenge game, whatever. the ACC is not nearly as good as people thought. It's still it's better than last year, but it's still not good. And Duke and Cal play a low-key significant game Saturday night in Berkeley, where the winner of that game should be able to garner some momentum. And I think the travel on Cal is too difficult. I mean, the travel in that conference is too difficult. What am I kidding? But I like Duke a lot. They're not going to blow you away from a talent perspective. They don't have the name value. Like the one guy on that team that people know is Darian Mensah. They don't know that Duke has a top 5 corner in the sport in Chandler Rivers. The kid Shepard that was toting, the true freshman running back that went off against Syracuse. He's a demon. Like they've got solid wide receiver play, and Manny Diaz isn't the sexiest coach. I get it. Trust, I understand.
It's a good
but
coach.
I could rely on some sort of consistency there, and I like the defense. And this kid Cooper Bardicke, the Harvard transfer, was tearing it up at wide receiver. They're a fun, no name, like they got no names anywhere for the common man, and they will never get respect. But I really think that when we look at the end of the year, that team could either be in the ACC championship and lose it, or be in that 3-4 spot in the ACC. So it's Duke for me. I think Duke's a top 25 team out of the year.
I know things could change very quickly this weekend, but I really wanted Brandon's thoughts on it because I think he thinks Mississippi State should be getting a little bit more credit. I'm not saying they should be ranked, but like Mississippi State, because
they should be ranked. They're a top 18 team.
Because their preseason ranking obviously is where they are. So they would definitely be in that conversation. Before we get to more questions, let's talk about Hey Dude, which is the official shoe of tailgating. Hey Dude is the perfect shoe that you just put by the door. Like if you need to go outside, you need to run to go get some coffee, run to your mailbox. For me, run out of the building to go down the street in Manhattan. It's the best. I love Hey Dude. They're so comfortable. They're so good looking. They're the best shoe ever. And for a limited time, if you go to heydude.com/Barstool and use code UR20, you get 20% off of Hey Dude, the Barstool collection. We now have the Barstool collection on Hey Dude, which is great. So go to heydude.com/Barstool, code UR20, grab 20% off all your favorite styles. Order yours today and experience comfort all season long. Okay, Thomas Vizek, I know he's also in the mix. Sorry, I'm really bad with names. But he has a question that I think a lot of people have been asking. When you look at the polls and you look at the coaches poll and the AP poll, that Penn State is still there. So his question is, why is Penn State number 7 in the AP poll and in the top 10 still for everyone? Who have they beat and what have they done to get this treatment? Is it based off of brand or what we think of a team and projecting them forward in the season? Big Ev, I'll let you answer that.
Now, that's why I understand his from like a right now standpoint. That's why like when I made a first quarter, first month, whatever you want to call it, playoff, they wouldn't be in it because they didn't beat anyone, and the one team they played, they lost. Now, granted, they lost to what I believe is the second best team in the country in overtime. So, I mean, it's one of those, I just don't think, maybe you disagree, but I don't think most people would say that they're not like a top, 10, 15 team. Like, I think they definitely are.
We can know some things. We know the talent on the roster. We know what they did last year. Again, I'm not like super high on them, but let's not give in to the idea that like they're somehow just not a top 10 team immediately.
Yeah, like they haven't got to play. They just only got to play one real team. I mean, you could say that's on them, sure, but they're just clearly, to me, like when I look at the roster, whatever. Like I think when it's all said and done, they will be a top 10 team. Now, maybe they won't. Maybe they lose to Ohio State, they lose to Indiana, and they're out of the playoffs. Maybe that could definitely happen. But
I do think that brand has.
Oh wait, they have Indiana.
Like what?
I don't think I should have put Penn State in my playoff because they will lose to Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they probably will lose to Indiana.
Well, that's what I was saying to Brandon. Brandon was scoffing at the idea. I'm not saying, listen, I think Penn State probably will win that game, but I think to scoff at the idea that Indiana has like 0% chance, I think
he's letting that take, like the wheels have to completely fall off. Like they're almost off anyways, but he's going to continue with that take just because he has been so high on them. Like looking back on Saturday night when he said he has like more confidence in them after the way that they lost that game, it's just crazy. But like we all have had those takes in the past where you just you ride them until they're absolutely dead. Okay.
I really think that this is going to spell the end of the Franklin era at Penn State.
Ooh.
This is like a complete gut feeling and everything. But look, on Saturday night after we record, after the final games ended, I went to bed and I laid there for probably an hour and a half thinking about college football because I couldn't sleep. And I spent 20, 30 minutes thinking about Penn State, the state of the program, and what they do at head coach. And I thought three names came to mind. I already said one earlier. I thought of three names as potential head coaching fits that I thought were right. And I couldn't even think of a four that I thought was like reasonable. The three names, the first one was Cignetti, a Pennsylvania guy. The second was Drinkwitz, an absolute dork who fits Penn State to a T. And the third was Fran Brown, whose brash personality might be too much for Penn State, but the Northeast ties and the SEC pipeline stuff he's got, I think that that'd be a good fit. Those are three names that came to mind. And in this sport, more often than not, there is a bit of thank you, you did well. Like we can't, like we're afraid of where we're not going to be. So from Penn, I'm trying to figure out how to word this articulately, but from where Penn State is right now, James, you say, thank you, James Franklin. You got us where we needed to be, but you haven't been able to take us to that next step. And this program believes that we are capable of so much more, of being elite, of being a national championship contender. And you unfortunately can't do that for us. We thank you for your service. We wish you the best in your career. You'll find a great landing spot elsewhere. Heck, maybe it's Clemson. That'd be fun. And we go and hire the next guy that could platform us where we need to be. I don't think enough programs do that because it's too much of, you are like, we're consistent. We're afraid of what we're not going to be. No, if you think you should be competing for national championships, you make the cutthroat decision. That's the business.
Go off, King. I love when you get passionate like that, Liam. It's great.
It feels too early for me, but I do like the aggressiveness.
I don't know if I fear it might be too late.
Yeah, maybe so. How about that?
Penn State fans. I mean, Penn State fans have been doing this for a while too. It's like, when's he going to get over the hump? When's he going to take us to the next step? And like to lose the way that they did to Dan Lanning and have the hope. I mean, yeah, it's like, at what point do you just say, okay, the grass may not be immediately greener, but he's never going to take us to like the greenest of pastures anyways. But it's a future them problem. We have a lot more questions, but it is Monday Night Football. Ev, I know you have a stream to get to, a doubleheader tonight. So before we get out of here, let's talk about Viore. I've been talking about the sets. I love the sets. I got a new green set recently. They are the absolute best. I know, T-Bob, you've been wearing Viore on Barstool. We love it. It's incredibly versatile and comfortable. Perfect for whatever your day brings, and shopping is very easy. Finding what you need on the website takes no time. It's ideal for fitness, running, training. I wear it on the plane every single week when I go to Chicago because it's stylish and comfortable enough to wear all day. It's soft, it's lightweight. They have the 4-way performance stretch. It moves with you with no restriction. It is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, you get 20% off your first purchase. So get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at viore.com/roughness. That's VUORI.com/roughness. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but you'll enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Viore.com/roughness and discover the versatility of Viore clothing. Just really quickly, Boomer Sooner, who goes first? Brian, Kelly, or Franklin? T-Bob.
So the people are out on Kelly. I was definitely wrong about that Saturday. Everybody wants everybody fired. But there's an economic reality to this. It can't be Brian Kelly. He's owed the remainder of his contract whenever he's fired. He has 6 years left in the deal. That's $60 million. Not only is Louisiana a poor state, but there is no way, unless he were to go 2-9, that you can justify in the NIL era, especially where every dollar that is given to a coaching buyout is doubly bad because it's not given to a talented player. You cannot justify $50 to $60 million to pay a coach not to work. It's not happening. So just look forward to BK.
What, you can't just cut a $90 million check and keep it moving?
I love that you're proud of that. What do you have to show for it? A dead dog and a one-eyed dog and no championship.
What? Like that's hateful, but also like, why would I not be proud that it's like $90 million is light work?
Because that's your problem. Money. What about
there is a sense of like, Yeah, but it's like you're doing like this Yankees thing, but you don't have 27 rings. You have no rings.
One.
Aggie ring.
With your class ring.
Yeah, technically. Well, no, but I'm saying like whenever, I mean, yes, we have nothing to show for it at the moment, but we're also not going to sit around and let a guy just be like an absolute asshole and just because we can't pay him out. At least we can pay him out.
Look. If we had the money, there would be real talk going on with Brian Kelly right now.
Right. So why would I not be proud that that's whatever. Besides, thank you guys.
Well, you know who's home. And I love this guy, so I feel bad. But like Scott Woodward did that contract, and Scott Woodward did this contract. So both contracts are Woodward's big game hunting thing.
So there, I see that there's some questions about Cincinnati. I know you mentioned it earlier, Ev. We'll get all of that.
Yeah, because they're gonna win.
Yeah. So we'll get into that. The preview will all be in person in Chicago. So we'll get into that this week. Everybody have a fun Monday Night Football. Ev, go get on your stream, and that is Unnecessary Roughness.